All right, today we're diving into a really massive question, one that's shaking up everything we thought we knew about creativity and ownership. What happens when the creator isn't, well, human? Our whole legal system, all the rules around intellectual property, they were all designed with people in mind. But now, with generative AI exploding onto the scene, that entire system is starting to crack.
And, this isn't just a small issue. The current legal system is really facing a full-blown crisis. A lot of experts are looking at this and saying, look, our old laws just can't keep up with the crazy new reality of AI. The change is just too big, it's too fast, and courts, they're built for slow, careful steps. Incrementalism, as the quote says. They're just not designed to handle this kind of massive, disruptive overhaul.
But the skepticism goes even deeper than that. Some folks are pointing out a really fundamental technical problem. They're saying that courts can't even begin to deal with the basic language of AI. We're talking about things like vectors and parameters, which are essentially the mathematical guts of how an AI thinks. And the argument is, how on earth can a judge or a jury make a ruling on something they can't see, can't touch, and can't really grasp? It's like trying to judge a painting by analyzing its atomic structure. It's just a completely different language.
Okay, so this section really gets to the heart of it. AI versus copyright. It's a huge mismatch, and we're going to see why our current legal tools are failing. And this isn't some far-off future problem, right? It's happening as we speak. We're seeing it play out with these huge lawsuits from places like the New York Times and Getty Images. What these cases are really showing us, in very stark terms, is that our existing IP laws, well, they're just not built for this. They're cracking under the pressure.
So here's the real kicker. Our entire system of intellectual property is built on one single fundamental assumption: a human creator. Think about it. Copyright? It needs a human author. Patents? They need a human inventor. Trade secrets? They protect human knowledge. AI just walks in and kicks that fundamental pillar right out from under the whole structure. Without the human in the equation, everything, and I mean everything, just collapses.
All right, let's get to the core of the problem. We're going to identify that fundamental disconnect between the law and the tech. The source material uses a pretty academic term for it, an ontological mismatch. But don't let the fancy words fool you. It's actually a pretty simple idea. The law and AI are describing two completely different worlds. They're not even on the same page.
Okay, so check out this comparison, because this is where it all clicks. Copyright's world, the world our laws were built for, is all about human authors creating fixed, tangible works. A specific painting, a specific book. It protects the expression of an idea. But AI's world, it's a completely different universe. There is no author in the traditional sense. There's no fixed work. Instead, you have what's called a probabilistic event. It's an output that's generated from this incredibly complex, abstract, geometric space. It's the difference between a sculptor carving a statue and a cloud forming a shape. One is deliberate and fixed. The other's a probability. So, the takeaway here is huge. This isn't just some small inconvenience that we can fix with a quick legal patch or a little update. The old system, the traditional IP framework, has become logically impossible to apply. It's not just hard, it's nonsensical. The very reality that those laws were designed to govern has been completely upended by this new technology. It really is like trying to apply the rules of sailing to a spaceship. The core principles just don't work anymore.
Okay, so if the old system is broken beyond repair, what's the solution? Well, this is where we get to the really exciting part. We're introducing a radically new blueprint. The idea here is that we need to stop trying to patch the old system and instead build a brand new legal operating system from the ground up, one that's actually designed for AI.
So what does this new operating system actually look like? Well, it's built on a paradigm of 5 new interconnected theories. You can see them here: latent space rights, constitutive parameter rights, and so on. Now, don't get bogged down in the names. Just think of them as different layers of protection that cover the entire AI process, from the inside out. It starts with the very foundation, the data and the model's internal structure. Then it moves to how the AI actually creates something new. The last one, synaptic cultural rights, is a fantastic example of how this all comes together.
Okay, so let's see how these new rules actually work. Let's make this concrete by looking at a practical example. A really thorny problem that courts are wrestling with as we speak: how do you protect an artist's unique style?
Right now, under our current copyright law, an artist's style has basically zero legal protection. It's a really weird loophole.
The law protects a tangible expression, like one specific painting, but it explicitly does not protect the general style, that unique vibe that makes an artist's work instantly recognizable. And this right here is why so many artists are having such a hard time in court when they sue AI companies. The law just doesn't have a category for what's being taken from them.
But this new system, it introduces a concept that could be a total game changer. It's called synaptic cultural rights, or SCR. And what this does is it creates a new right that governs how AI models can extract and use those cultural patterns, the style, the artistic DNA of a creator. For the first time, an artist could actually register and protect the very essence of their style.
And this is such a brilliant shift, isn't it? The whole conversation changes. We move away from asking the old-world question, did you copy my specific painting? Instead, we start asking the right question for the AI era. Did your model ingest, absorb, and learn to replicate my unique style? It's a fundamental change that gets right to the heart of what's actually happening.
So let's zoom out a bit. We're talking about reinventing ownership for AI, because this is about way more than just protecting artists. We're talking about the profound implications of building a whole new legal architecture. This is about creating a system that can fairly and efficiently manage AI ownership for everyone involved, the developers building the models, the people using them, and the public at large.
And I want to be clear, this isn't just some abstract, pie-in-the-sky idea. The framework comes with really concrete proposals for how to build this new system. We're talking about things like an algorithmic rights commission to oversee everything, a whole new profession of AI model auditors who would act like forensic experts for AI, even a parameter fingerprint registry, which is kind of like a DNA database for AI models. These are the real-world nuts and bolts that can actually make this happen.
So what's the end goal of all this? It's actually pretty simple. It's to align our laws with technical reality, to stop trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. By doing that, you create a system that's predictable. You reduce all the legal chaos we're seeing right now, and that gives innovators the stability they need to keep pushing forward, and creators the security they deserve.
And this really brings us to the core message, the most important takeaway from all of this. AI isn't just challenging our intellectual property laws, it's forcing us to completely reinvent them. I mean, think about it. For the first time in human history, the primary creative force in a new medium is non-human. Our laws simply weren't built for that. They have to evolve, or they'll become completely irrelevant.
And so, that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. If the creator is no longer human, what exactly should our laws protect? The answer we come up with is going to define not just the future of technology, but the future of creativity and culture itself. It's a huge question, and one we all need to start thinking about.